This is K2 News at 5 on your side.
Hello and good evening. I'm Barry Mangold. Thanks for watching this digital edition of K2 News. We begin with disturbing news out of Washington State, where a sheriff's office is investigating after possible human remains were found inside of a suitcase in a remote area of the Ross Lake National Recreation Area. A spokesperson with the sheriff's office told our news partners, Como News, the remains were found by two fishermen on October 12th. Deputies say the two men then notified the National Park Service. Detectives have interviewed both of those men. However, the sheriff's office is not releasing any more information about what condition the remains were in and how long the suitcase may have been in that area. The Whatcom County Medical Examiner also declined to comment on whether the remains have been identified or if a cause of death has been determined, referring all inquiries on the investigation to the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office. We'll be sure to follow this one. And one person is in custody tonight after police received an anonymous tip that a felon was in possession of firearms. 35-year-old David Oliver was located near Northeast 92nd and Halsey yesterday. Oliver had an active felony warrant at the time officers approached him. He attempted to walk away, but was arrested after police used de-escalation strategies. Officers recovered 4 guns from Oliver as well as methamphetamine. He now faces multiple charges. The head of the National Transportation Safety Board is calling out the Federal Aviation Administration over its mental health policies for pilots. It comes about a month after authorities arrested an off-duty pilot who allegedly tried to shut down the engines during an Alaskan Air flight. The pilot's family said that he had been depressed and too scared to seek help in fears of losing his pilot's license. Health officials say it's a pervasive stigma in the airline industry. As it stands, pilots are immediately grounded after disclosing any mental health treatments, and the FAA mandated evaluations could take months to complete. Turning now to the latest on the 2024 election, Multnomah County District Attorney Mike Schmidt today formally kicked off his re-election campaign. Schmidt ran on criminal justice reform when he was elected back in 2020, and today he highlighted his work on overturning unjust convictions, focusing on auto theft arrests, and he said that if he's re-elected, he wants to continue in part on reforming programs to benefit victims of domestic violence.
What my goal has been is to be somebody who understands that reform and safety go together. Those two things are inextricably linked, and tackle the biggest problems pressing our community.
Schmidt's only declared opponent as of now is his own senior deputy district attorney, Nathan Vasquez. Vasquez spoke with K2 back in May, and you can watch his full interview right now up at KATU.com. Turning now to a Timesaver traffic alert. Tomorrow, TriMet riders can expect disruptions on the Max, Blue, and Red lines all day long. It's for an emergency response drill involving more than 20 agencies and emergency management partners. The drill will involve fire, medical, and police personnel, as well as TriMet staff. It will include 2 simulated events, an active attacker and a hazardous materials incident. TriMet says it'll better prepare our region first responders and TriMet personnel for the threats against the transit system. Governor Tina Kotek's office is teaming up with Union Pacific to improve trash and graffiti cleanup here in Portland. She made the announcement today following the 3rd meeting of her Central City Task Force. That group is charged with identifying and implementing solutions to revitalize Portland's Central City.
We talked about graffiti, like some of their more active spaces where people are tagging. Can we do something with that? How do we get those cleaned up? Can we put murals? We're talking about trash pickup.
This week, the task force also released preliminary results of a questionnaire about Portlanders' top issues with the city. More than 9,000 people participated in that. The results found public safety and homelessness were tied at the top, with mental health close behind. This weekend's heavy rain did not stop bookworms from flocking downtown for the Portland Art Museum's Book Festival. The day-long event featured author discussions, pop-up readings, writing workshops for youth and adults, kids' story times, and an extensive book fair. Local food trucks were there to feed hungry readers. Senior Artistic Director Amanda Bullock says this festival is the first to feel back to normal and credits the afternoon's success to the city's strong love of literature.
And it's felt really, really good. You know, being downtown, being at a great event on the blocks, like seeing your friends, meeting new friends, like finding authors who are new to you, seeing some of your favorite authors, it feels amazing to be in person. And it doesn't work unless people are here. And so it's really a community effort in so many ways.
Beautiful fall day for a book fair. Veterans, active military, and kids under 17 years old got in for free on that. General admission ran readers $25 at the door. Today in Oregon, adjunct General Major closed a chapter of his own. Folks gathered to celebrate General Michelle E. Stalenza's retirement ceremony. Today's ceremony commemorated more than 39 years of military service. The state's military department says Major General Stencil has served as Oregon's adjunct general. Major General Stencil has led the Oregon National Guard for over 8 years now. He held his post through a global pandemic, wildfires, and other natural disasters. A former homeless services specialist with the city of Gresham is in jail tonight, facing several charges of theft and misuse of his position. This week, KATU's Megan Allison took a closer look at what we know about the case.
Sandra Sanders tells us she first learned about Kevin Dahlgren back in 2021.
I was on dialysis, so I was basically looking for fresh produce that people were giving to elderly people. And I had read a thing on Facebook that says Gresham, Angels Helping Gresham. And it was just a text. It wasn't a phone number. It was just you could send a text to this text number.
Sanders says the first time a vegetable box was dropped within 30 minutes. The second time she opened the door to see the person delivering and tells us she watched Dahlgren walk away.
I was, just trying to thank him for him. And he was quite abrupt. I mean, he didn't speak to me. He just got in his truck and drove off. So I found that kind of unusual, so I quit texting him.
Sanders tells us she spoke with a detective this summer who told her Dahlgren got those food boxes himself and took city money, telling city officials he delivered more goods than he actually did.
They were asking me about World Market and had he ever brought me a whole bunch of weird stuff, and I said, no, I got vegetables twice.
After that conversation with the sheriff's office, Sanders tells us she's worried about the extent of Dahlgren's alleged crimes.
He started asking me some questions at the end that made me kind of nervous. He asked me, did I ever go anywhere with Kevin, or did I ever get in his vehicle? And no, I hadn't.
I reached out to the city of Gresham. They responded with a statement saying staff discovered suspicious activity in March of 2023 and placed Dahlgren on leave while conducting an investigation. During that time, Dahlgren resigned.
Megan Allison reporting there. Now we're taking a moment to look to the week ahead. The first thing to have on your radar, the Beaverton church leader indicted for sex abuse will be in court on Monday. 39-year-old Christopher Michael Pruitt is set to have a hearing at 3 o'clock Monday afternoon. He's accused of inappropriately touching 2 minors at his church, Our Father's House Ministries. Pruitt was taken into custody early last month and remains there now. He's currently facing multiple counts of first-degree abuse, among other things. Also on Monday, the new Joint Committee responding to the drug crisis will hear from law enforcement and evaluate current public safety responses and resources. It will be the committee's second meeting and is set to focus specifically on the public safety response to the drug crisis. Members of the committee come from Oregon law enforcement, the DA's office, and the Department of Corrections. It is co-chaired by Senate Majority Leader Kate Lieber and Representative Jason Kropf. Meantime, Metro is celebrating the opening of its 1,000th new affordable housing apartment. The ribbon-cutting ceremony will be 5 years to the day after voters approved a regional affordable housing bond. It will take place at the opening of Good Shepherd Village Apartments, a 143-unit complex in Happy Valley. The affordable housing bond measure promises 3,900 units of housing with long-term affordability. Metro says it expects all remaining funds to be committed to projects by the end of next year. And don't forget to fall back in time overnight. Daylight saving time officially ends at 2 a.m. For most of us, that means an extra hour of sleep and brighter mornings. Benjamin Franklin actually proposed a version of daylight saving time back in 1784 as a way to save money on candles and lamp oil. That's a fun fact. But it wasn't until 1918 that it was actually implemented in the U.S. Hawaii and Arizona do not participate in changing their clocks. Some lawmakers have been pushing to make daylight saving time permanent. However, that legislation has been stalled in Congress. All right, well, that's wonder if we'll ever get there, you know?
Probably not.
Yeah, we'll
that will be stalled for a long time, most likely, but we will see a change in the time overnight to tomorrow. The real difference, is that you're going to get to see the sunset this evening. Let's take a look at Stoller Family Estates in Dayton. This is a live shot. Sun going down at 5:54 this evening, and a lot of us seeing the sunshine. By this time tomorrow, well, sun will be setting an hour sooner, 4:52, after that sunrise just before 7 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock in the morning. But 24 hours from now, we're not going to see that sunshine. We're going to be looking at some more heavy rain and cooler temperatures for tomorrow as well. Mid-60s for some of you on the coast, 67 in Portland, 66 in Kelso, 69 in Redmond. So very warm, on the warm side of a cold front, but a lot of rain. You noticed that coming down last night. This is our radar picture from the last 12 hours. Heavier rain now in northeast Oregon and a weakening strand of showers that we've seen over the last couple of hours from Eagle Creek and Sandy out into the gorge, up into North Clark County as well, Skamania County. Those will be fizzling out, but moving to the northeast through the evening. But impressive numbers, 1/3 of an inch in rain in Pendleton the last 24 hours, almost an inch in the Dalles. More than an inch, in fact, 1.5 inches for some of us around the metro area. We could easily see another inch with our next weather maker coming through. Still a possibility of evening thunderstorms and then some showers overnight, but that next weather maker comes in late Sunday, so expect a wet afternoon after a fairly dry start to the day. Highs still fairly mild, right around 60 degrees, but not closer to 70 like some of us were today. There's our weather maker for the weekend. Here's the next one winding up for the end of the weekend into Monday, and that will bring us more rain and more wind. 61 degrees at the Inn at Spanish Head Resort Hotel in Lincoln City, where you're seeing some sunshine, lots of clouds from our visithoodriver.com camera. Pretty clear conditions from the C-Tran camera on top of the Vancouver Library, and we will be drying out, even though we're getting some showers right now in the metro area, mainly on the east side. Fairly dry through the evening, mid-50s for temperatures during the evening and only low 50s overnight as we stay fairly warm. But you can see that rain coming in for your Sunday and that next weather maker moving through on Monday. This is going to kick up the wind again, so it will be a wet and windy Monday, and then even starting out wet on Tuesday before we get a bit of a break. We are looking at, again, maybe 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. There's your wet stuff coming in to start the work week. Snow level not quite down to the passes, but we could see some new snow accumulating on the top of Mount Hood. Morning showers turning to rain midday for the coast, and then afternoon thunderstorms possibility. Along the I-5 corridor, expect that afternoon rain after a slight chance of morning showers. High temperatures upper 50s, maybe 60 degrees. Mid-50s out in the gorge. I'm not looking at a lot of wind in the gorge. It will be a little bit windier late in the day on the coast, and the snow level in the Cascades still above 6,000 feet. Drier central and eastern Oregon, you have a chance of those showers into the afternoon. So a rainy, windy Monday, maybe an early start with some showers on Tuesday. There's your dry spot if you need to do some outdoor work Wednesday and Thursday. And then showers coming back to finish the week, but temperatures cooling into the mid-50s.
All right, Joe. Thank you so much. Sounds great. And in other news, the Portland Timbers are narrowing down their choice for their next head coach. And a source with the team has confirmed to KATU News that they are in talks with former Inter Miami coach Phil Neville for the job. The Timbers fired head coach Giovanni Savarese earlier this year. The talks between the Timbers and Neville was first reported yesterday by The Athletic, which said that a deal has not yet been signed or finalized. However, that Neville is expected to be named head coach. This development has not been welcome news to everyone that's a Timbers fan. The Timbers Army supporter group posted a statement on Twitter urging the club to reconsider, saying that Neville has a history of sexist public statements and they questioned his track record as a team manager. We asked the Timbers if they had a response to this post from the Timbers Army statement. They declined to comment. And happening right now, the Ducks are taking on the Golden Bears at home in Eugene in football. They are up 42-19. The Ducks have the ball in the third quarter with about 4 minutes left in the third quarter, that is. We'll have more results coming up later tonight on KATU News. And tonight, the Oregon State Beavers are taking on the Colorado Buffaloes. That game starts at 7 o'clock. We'll update you on it tonight on a special edition of KATU News around 8 o'clock. In case your idea of a fun weekend isn't watching the Ducks or any football for that matter, there's other animals to check out at the Oregon Zoo. Today kicks off the zoo's Pause and Relax event, which offers discounted admission to zoo goers. Adult tickets will cost about $12 as opposed to their usual $24. The discount runs from now until Friday, November 10th. Maybe they got some ducks there too. Who knows? Well, that's all the time we have for this digital edition of KATU News. Thanks for watching. We'll be back on air around 8 o'clock after the game. See you then.